Have you ever taken the time to think through the process of why people will judge men who dress well a certain way and other people, or the same people, will judge men who dress poorly or just haphazardly another way? Well, today I want to talk about that with you guys. All right, so first things first, not everybody who sees a well-dressed man, whether that's well-dressed by means of a suit and tie or dressed intentionally and indicative of the fact that he's put some effort into his appearance, not everybody is going to see that as a favorable or a positive thing. There will be people who see men in suits and see that as incredibly negative. There will be people who see men in really good trendy streetwear and see something like that as a negative. Just like you'll have people who see other men who are dressed in a t-shirt from a 5K that they attended or supported and a pair of Walmart shorts and think that that's fine and those are the kind of men that they want to be around. And what I've dealt with and what my experience has taught me over the years is that there's two different mindsets when it comes to the way that you interact with the world. The first one is that you are in control of your destiny. It's this internal locus of control. It's this idea that you can shape your life, and it's not based on determinism or based on a victim methodology. It's basically that you as a man can shape your life the way that you want it to be. And yes, there will be challenges, and yes, there will be obstacles, but ultimately both the opportunity and the responsibility to determine the direction in which you're headed is up to you. Now, the other is a more deterministic or victim-based approach, which is that life happens to you. And it's an external locus of control. It's this idea that no matter what you do, the cards you've been dealt are the cards that are going to determine your future. And anybody who says that you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps, or anybody says that you can get ahead, is basically just trying to make a buck off of you. They're lying to you, they're exploiting you, they're colonizing you, they're somehow oppressing you and convincing you that you can be better when really they're just trying to profit off of your labor or profit off of your effort. Now, as objective as I try to be as I explain both of those, it should be fairly obvious which of those camps I fall into. You can hear the enthusiasm in my voice as I talk about the former and the disdain in my voice as I talk about the latter. And how can I not be? I mean, I make a living talking to a camera and helping individual men choose clothing that benefits their lives, and this is the kind of thing that a deterministic approach or somebody who has a victim mindset would tell me. People who have fixed mindsets have told me, what a stupid idea. Why would anybody ever pay you money for that? Why would anybody ever watch your channel? Why would anybody ever be interested in the philosophy of style or the strategic approach to style? Nobody's going to care about that. And you know what? I don't have 1 million subscribers. I don't even have 100,000 subscribers yet. But I know that my future is in my control. And when it comes to judging other men by the way that they dress, what I've found is that I gravitate towards men who dress intentionally because it's a way for them to demonstrate the exact same thing. Because when you care about the way that you dress, when you care about the little details in your life, your fitness, the way that you speak, the way that you interact with people, everything related to your presence, when you put in the time and the energy and the effort to improving on those things, then what you're communicating to yourself and to the world around you, what you are reaffirming is that idea that you are the master of your own destiny. Now, for me, because I believe that, I see men who demonstrate that through their clothing, through their presence, and I want to be around other men who are like that. Now, at the same time, somebody who is of a victim mindset and who has this deterministic approach to life will see somebody like me, somebody like you, who cares about your presence and cares about your style, and they will resent you. They will tell you that you're shallow. They will tell you that you're privileged. They will tell you that you're oppressive. They will tell you any number of things that they will need to tell basically themselves in order to justify the story that they have in their head that it's not your work, it's not your effort, it's not your own approach to life that got you to where you are. And the only reason that you seem to be further along and better off is because of the luck of the draw. Or according to some original sin, aka privilege in the modern religion, that got you to where you are, and that you didn't earn that. You don't deserve that. You didn't work for it. It's only through the labors and the merits of other people. People over whom you've walked and stepped in order to get to where you are. I hate that latter mindset. Now, that's not to say that you can't be somebody who has an internal locus of control, who believes that you are the master of your own future and dresses like garbage. There are plenty of examples like that, absolutely. In fact, there are a lot of examples of men like that. Take Mark Zuckerberg, for example, who dresses poorly because he's so focused on other things that he doesn't want to have to think about his clothes. That's great. By all means, judge a book by its cover and then be willing to reevaluate and reassess once that judgment is made. In fact, I have a whole video on that. You can go check that out. But for the most part, through my own anecdotal experience, through evidence through other people, I would imagine through your own experience, you can tell that the men who carry themselves a certain way, the men who dress a certain way, the men who care about what kind of physical shape that they're in, the men who care about the grammar and the language that they use, the men who care about the little details in life are the men who have that internal belief that they are the ones who choose their destiny. And those who just give up, who just go with their own inertia, who go with the inertia of their group, who just don't do anything other than avoid the negative, are the people who are victims, are the people who just decide that good enough is good enough. And don't misinterpret or take this too far in the other direction and think that what I'm saying is that the people who have a victim mindset don't have any value. I don't agree with that at all. I don't believe that at all, especially because mindset is something that's malleable, it's moldable. I've had a victim mindset in my life. I've believed in stupid theories about inherent privilege and other things from 15 years ago, and I've grown and I've changed, and I believe that other people can do that too. Okay, so I know that this sounds like it's kind of a ramble, and to be honest, this is one of those videos where I just turn on the camera and I go, and I found that for us, for me and for you, that these are the best videos that I can create, because this is where we really discover a lot of the fundamentals of style and why it matters. And so just to recap, the way that you perceive other well-dressed men is related to what they're communicating about their relationship with the world, and it's also related to what your relationship with the world is. And so if you are a man who believes that you are the master of your own fate, and you see other men who dress and carry themselves and present themselves in a way that what they're telling through their story is they believe that they are masters of their own fate, then that's a great pairing. Then that's an easy way for you to be able to tell that those are men that you want to be around, or at least make that initial assessment and then find out further from there. At the same time, if you're a man who believes that you're a master of your own fate and you see other men who dress and present themselves in a way where they believe that they are victims or that their behavior is determined by external forces, then you probably don't want to be around or spend a whole lot of time with those men. I know I don't. Again, not because there isn't any value in those men, but because that kind of mindset is addictive. It's easy to fall into that. And I have been there and I don't want to go back there. I would rather surround myself with men who control themselves and control their future. Now, at the same time, if you're the kind of man who believes in determinism and believes that you are not the master of your own future, and you see other men who dress like they are and act and present themselves like they are, then there's an element of resentment. There's this idea that they only dress better and present themselves better because somehow it is a zero-sum game and their presence and their power is taken from other people like you who don't have it. And you don't have it because this guy, this man, this oppressor has taken it from you. It's ego from the bottom looking up. It's ego saying, I don't want anything to do with this jerk, with this douchebag, because I hate people like that because they're smug and they're stupid and they're shallow and yada, yada, yada. And then going into the fourth pairing, if you're a man who believes that your behavior is determined by external forces, and so you don't care about your presence, you don't care about your appearance, you think that putting any extra effort into it is pointless and fruitless because it doesn't change anything, and you see other men who dress and present themselves the same way, then you're going to find likeness there. You are going to want to surround yourself with men like that because it reaffirms your own status in life, and it helps you not feel guilty when you see other men who do better. That is why if you've gone from being an average guy into somebody who dresses and acts and performs and presents himself better, a lot of times your friends or other people in your life will resent you or hate you for it. The reason why is because you are proving the lie of that victim mindset, of that deterministic mentality. You were proving to them that you, somebody with whom they found kinship, with whom they associated and believed was the same victim, the same person that was under the same circumstances and therefore justified their inability to rise up and become better. You now are rising up and becoming better, and all of a sudden they deal with this cognitive dissonance of either my mindset is wrong or it's not, and somehow this guy wasn't really my friend and he was just this guy who was, being a chameleon and playing this role. And where do you think they're gonna go? Of course they're gonna look at you as a fraud and a fake, and they're gonna hate you and resent you, rather than embracing the fact that their victim mentality is what's keeping them down and holding them back. That is why you get so much kickback as you start to dress better. You're proving a lie to the people around you who want you to continue to reaffirm the comfort of that lie. So I don't really know where I want to go with this. I don't necessarily have any advice to give you guys with this. I don't necessarily have any action points or anything to give you, but it's something that I've been thinking about more and more, especially as I find more and more that mindset it's poison, and not only poison, it's a virus. It's contagious. We can see that now, this victim mindset. We've gone from an honor culture to a dignity culture to a victim culture where there is status in being the biggest victim that you can be. I want no part in that. I believe that you're here because you want no part in that. And that's why dressing intentionally is a subtle way to give the middle finger to that mindset. And again, it doesn't mean you have to wear a suit. You can dress intentionally in any other way, but if other people can tell, and more importantly, if you can tell that you have put some effort into your appearance, you have put some thought and some process into your presence and your presentation, then what you're doing is you're towing the line. You're holding that line against the mindset that somehow your happiness, your misery, your life is not a result of your own decisions, but the result of somebody else's actions. As long as you don't believe that, as long as you don't fall victim to that particular mindset, then you always will be able to find happiness. You always will be able to not only weather the storm, but learn to thrive in the storm. Now again, dressing well doesn't mean that that's how you weather the storm, but it may be one of the best ways for you to anchor yourself and know that you still care. To anchor your family, your friends, the people around you, so that they know that you still care. It may be one of the best, most subtle ways to constantly remind yourself every day that you're not a victim, but you're a man. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about this. Have you gone through a similar transformation like me? Yeah, it's been obvious for the last, however many years that I don't believe in that anymore, but I used to have the victim mindset. Did you used to? Do you not anymore? What made you change? Do you believe that dressing intentionally helps you fight off that mindset and helps you separate yourself from the other people who have that contagion and can spread it to you? Let me know, and I will talk to you guys on the next one.